Okay. Hi, everybody. My clock is showing 1 o'clock my time, whatever time it may be for you. So, want to welcome you all to this EBSCO ebook offer webinar with a little bit of mouthful there. We are really excited that you have all chosen to join us today. And just for any of you who may not know me, I am Beth Pertee. I am team coordinator of the Christian Library Consortium. And in just a moment, I'm going to introduce Robin, who is going to be presenting the webinar today. First, just a couple of housekeeping details. And you are all, I can see, all of you look like you're muted, but to help us with the background, any background noise or distractions. So we do ask that you go ahead and keep that mic muted so we can all, you know the drill after all these months of the pandemic, for sure. We do and are going to have chat open. Feel free to post any questions that you may have. And if it seems like we can do it during the middle of the presentation, it seems the right time, I can always ask Robin to cover something right as we're in that at that time. But otherwise, we'll either respond on chat or we will definitely be able to address questions at the end. We'll have some time to do that. So, so use that chat. And I had posted in the chat for you to just kind of say hello, greeting, love to know that you're here, where you're from, joining us from. And so it's nice to have that connection with you all. And lastly, this webinar is going to be recorded, and the link will be made available in case you missed something or someone was not able to attend today. They'll be able to see what was covered. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want to first introduce Robin Corder, who will be presenting today for us. Robin is an ebook sales specialist at EBSCO. She's worked with the Christian Library Consortium on our annual ebook offer for about 5 years now. And it's really been great to work with her. And we really appreciate that EBSCO is able to provide significant discount for these ebook collections for our members. And Robin wanted to provide an opportunity this year to go over the details of the offer with you, as well as some information about accessing these ebook collections, and also answer any specific questions that you might have. So I'm going to turn it over to Robin. Appreciate your being here, and I'm going to mute myself and let Robin take over here.
Thanks, Beth. All righty. It's nice to see you all. I recognize many names. So thanks for joining. Okay, so we're off to a great start with the EBSCO ACL ebook offer. The offer kicked off mid-September, and we've had much activity amongst members. But this is a nice opportunity to review the offering, look at a quote. Our quotes can be a little confusing. Look at ECM to show you how to select ebooks and answer any questions you may have. So next slide, April, please. Thank you. So just a reminder, this offering is only available to CLC membership. And on the website, this is a screenshot of the offering itself, but on the website, you can connect with Beth and the team to reach out for membership. It's a great offering. It's been going on for many years. This particular offer will run through mid-December. And let me just go through the offering itself. For all the collections listed, we are offering a flat 30% discount available on every ebook. This year, we've curated 4 new collections: Pastoral Ministries Missions, Biblical Studies, Education, which is a brand new one, and Leadership. You know, the members, the leaders of ACL have gone out to membership and have asked what is of interest to you, and this is what we've come back with. The pricing is fixed on the one user ebooks So that's essentially a 1 copy of the ebook, and 3 user. There is no unlimited pricing on these quotes when you click these hyperlinks on the website. However, you tell me what collections you want to look at. I will generate a quote specific to your institution, which will show the unlimited pricing. And then you can look at the quote and decide which access model you'd like to purchase. And we'll go over this again when I show you what a quote looks like. So the conditions for the 30% discount. Oh, and I also want to remind you that the pricing on the quote is before the discount, as it says here. The discount gets applied at the time of processing the order. So you can either buy any one of our collections, whether that be our new collections or our older collections. Our older collections pricing is not listed because that's subject at the time you order. Once I do a quote, the quote lasts 30 days, and that's the pricing that you would have. So as long as you buy at least 1 collection, or you create your own collection, you'll get the 30% discount. If you choose not to buy a collection and you only want to create what we call an a la carte order, we do ask that you build a collection of a minimum of $2,000. If you buy a collection and want to create a collection, you don't need to satisfy this minimum purchase as long as 1 collection is purchased. And again, if you have any questions when you send me your list, we can go over that again. But I get a lot of questions about, do I need to reach my 2,000 minimum? That you don't if you're buying a collection with it. In addition to this 30% offering, we are offering 10% discount on any Zondervan titles. And this summer we added an additional 9,000 Zondervan ebooks. So we've got a total of over 10,545 titles. So we're really excited to have that much content. The Zondervan titles are only available at the 1 user, and we do offer a flat 10% on those. So I am going to share my screen, and you can unshare, April. Can everybody see this quote? Yes. Okay, terrific. So this is what a quote looks like. This is our education collection that we curated this summer. You'll see, so the quotes are a little confusing. All our quotes default to the 1 user access pricing. So 1B1 user is our 1 user access. That means you essentially have 1 copy of the book, and while someone is accessing that book, no one else can access that. The next pricing tier is 1 book 3U, and that is 3 accesses. So you essentially have 3 copies of the book. So 3 people can simultaneously access the ebook. And then the final option, which is always the best option, is the unlimited. We don't price unlimited in the quotes on the website, as I mentioned, because those are specific to the amount of employees at your institution or patrons using the book. So I will quote that out for you. But what we have done on these quotes is we've highlighted in light blue all the ebooks that have UU pricing. So for the first 3 ebooks in this quote, there is UU pricing here. If we drop down to the 4th book on this quote, these cells are blank and they're not highlighted. That means there's only a 1 user option on this book. So what I ask is you can either attach this quote to an email to me saying I want to buy, for instance, this educational quote at the 1 user, or you could go through, or you could say, please show me the price, the total, all the pricing. And what I'll do is I'll run the quote, send you back the quote, and I ask that you don't remove any content from these quotes, but just highlight. You could highlight in yellow, I want this book at this access. I want this book at this access, and send it back to me. And what I'll do is I'll generate another quote with the total. The total's always at the bottom here. This will be the total. It's the access you've selected plus the number of copies, and that'll be the total. It's always at the bottom of column E. I'll send you back the quote. You verify that that is what you want. That is the price you're looking at. Those are the access models you want. Once I get your confirmation, then I will process your order. It's really important when you're in ECM, and we'll look at ECM in a moment, that you don't send any books to the cart and purchase them directly. All orders have to flow through me, because if they don't, you're not going to get the discount. And I want to make sure you get that 30% discount. Okay, so I'll stop sharing, April. Now this slide, and we're going to go into EBSCO Host Collection Manager, our ordering platform, but this is just a list of some of our religious content that we have that is already in curated collections. And when we go into ECM, I'll show you subject sets and featured collections. We'll discuss DRM-free content a little bit. Subject sets are the curated collections of all our latest content. So there won't be any content that's older than 4 years. And then in our featured collection, you'll find a larger publication range, but you'll find more specific subjects. And as you can see in our theology and religion featured collections, we list several different type and several different years that we've released them. So I think the best thing to do right now is to go into ECM. And excuse the side of my face. I'm going to go to my second screen here. Beth, can you see the EBSCO Host Collection Manager? Great. All right, so this is ECM. I am sure you're all familiar with this ordering platform. If you're not, send me an email. I can walk you through it, give you a little demonstration. If you don't have permissions, I can set you up for permissions as well, especially for any members that have recently joined. That will be necessary. So I won't spend too much time on how to search for books, but basically you can type in any of these keywords. You can type in title. If you have ISBN, that's great. It brings you right to that edition and so forth. And then I'll show you, once you search for a title, these limiters will populate, and there's an eligibility limiter that I will show you. But first, let's go to our collections. The subject sets we'll come back to, but I wanted to focus on the featured collection because we have some great content in here. You'll see there's a lot of collections in here, and I don't want to scroll down too far and make you dizzy, but you can use these larger subject limiters to navigate what you're interested in. So, and then I'll come back to these. We have DRM-free collections, so I'll come back to what DRM-free means, but these collections live in this section of featured collections as well. So say I was interested in some business content, and I saw this collection, and this was of interest to me. You can click on the collection name. This is Diversity in the Workplace. And as it's just going to spin for a second, but when you do click on a collection or you're searching a general individual ebook, these limiters, as I mentioned, populate here on the left. Let me just scroll down. When you're building an a la carte list, you won't see the curated collections that are listed on the website in here. You'll see those individual books in here, but you won't see the collections. But when you're building a collection, an a la carte list, you're going to want to make sure that they're eligible for the discount. So we have well over 550,000 ebooks on this platform that are available for the consortia discount. And that's the 30% discount we can offer. Some books aren't eligible for that, so they will be ineligible. If you send me a list and you haven't checked on eligibility, it's okay, because I always double check. And if there are titles that aren't eligible, I'll just generate a separate quote for ineligible. And if you want me to process those orders without the discount, I'm happy to do that. Or you could go directly back into this platform and purchase them yourself. It's up to you. but this is a way to know which books are eligible. So this is a collection of 132 titles. And when you're building a collection, you want to add everything to a list. So here you'll see the word eligibility. Pull down on the down caret and you'll see eligible for consortia discount. You want to enable that setting. And what that'll do is it'll pull all the titles out that are not available for the 30% discount. Now, if you want to quote for everything under this collection, whether it's available for discount, not, then send me the whole list and I will create those 2 quotes. So 91 titles now are available for the 30% discount. The 30% discount will not be reflected in this pricing. What you can do at this point is you could go through and select which pricing on every single book, but better yet, I would just add this to an entire list. You want to make sure when you add collection to a list that you have your page extended the furthest out, because it's going to capture, in this case, 91 titles. So I want to make sure that's the furthest out. And so I'm going to add this to a list. You could also just export the list. It won't show the pricing though. And then you can create a new list. So let's create a new list. And I'm going to call this list ACL. If you wanted to select a fund code, it's scratch that, it's not applicable. That's only applicable if you're going to purchase it directly in ECM. And then we'll create the list. And we'll get a little window that pops up and it'll say 91 titles have been added to the ACL list. And it may take a second. You can also search individual titles, check to see if they're eligible, and add them to a list on an individual basis. You can see here, it'll say add to list. Your ACL list will show up automatically. Once you've used it once, you can determine which access and add it to list. Another way you can search for titles, if you didn't want to search individually or you weren't interested in our curated collections, I love this feature. This is import list on the gray toolbar. If you have the 13-digit ISBNs, you can copy and paste into this cell right here up to 1,000. It'll tell you how to do it. You don't put any dashes in and you hit continue. And then it'll ask you what list to add it to. So in my example, I would copy and paste my ISBNs, my print ISBNs. I would hit continue. I won't go through it all. It's very self-explanatory. I'd select the ACL list because that's my list that I want to send to myself. And it would add that to the list. So that's a nice shortcut. When you're ready to send me your list, you go into lists and you go into in progress lists. Now this is my test site, so there's a lot of lists here, but ACL is at the top and these are the 91 titles. At any point, I can go into the list, which you'll need to do to export it to me. So you click on the title and it'll list all those 91 titles. At that point, you could remove a title. You could change the access model, but this is the button I want to show you. You're going to want to export this. And what this does is it generates an Excel file that you can send to me. When I get that Excel file, I will run it through your account, get your unlimited pricing and send it back to you. And then we'll get closer to a quote of what you actually want to purchase. So, so that's how you find titles, add them to a list, and export the list to me. Let's just go quickly to the subject set area. This is all new content. You'll see we release these collections every year. You'll only see 4 years worth because it's all our front list. Again, if we went to business and economics and I pulled up the latest leadership management, those limiters will populate on the left. But what I want to show you here is if you come across a title that's DRM free, I know there's been some interest in DRM free content. I just wanted you to see what this looks like. This book right here has this green placard that says DRM free availability of, available. We place these placards on books in ECM. What this means is if we went into the title of the ebook, we're going into the detail page at this point, it's going to show us the publisher permissions. And what that means, so if we just scroll down a little bit, this publisher is allowing 60 pages per session when a patron is in the book and looking at the full text of the book. They can save up to 60 pages while they're in that book. So they could download a number of chapters up to 60 pages worth. They could save some to their Google Drive. They could email some, create a link up to 60 pages per session. And EBSCO host and EDS tracks how many pages you're using within that session. Typically, publishers allow between 100 pages, 60 pages. I've seen 10 pages, and I've seen some publishers that don't allow any content to be shared, but most are 60 or 100. But because this book is DRM free, if you were to buy it, the DRM free version, which will always be the unlimited, suddenly those permissions go away and you will get this book as a PDF unless PDF's not available, and then you'll get the EPUB version. And the entire book you can keep. You download it once and it doesn't go back. It's a PDF. It can be put up on an LMS canvas. A faculty member can email the book to every student in their class. The book it's a free textbook essentially, with no limitations on how much content. So DRM free is very popular, particularly amongst faculty. And so if that's something you're interested in, I would recommend you go back into featured collections, and without making you too dizzy, you'll see some at the top here, but depending on how big your screen is, they start here, and these are large collections by subject and then often broken up by years. So if I were to click on any of these collection, every book in there is DRM free available. And then you can go to your limiter and see which ones are eligible for the consortia discount. So I think that's all I need to show you at this point in ECM, but we can certainly come back to you with during our Q&A session. So April, I think there's one more slide available. So this slide is, I just wanted to take a quick minute to tell you about some improvements we're making. Our most exciting platform is coming out in January, and it's called eBook Manager. So for those of you who have access, who have rights to EBSCO admin and site maintenance, where you go in to change your ebook settings, that will all be going away at some point in January. And in its place will be this new portal called eBook Manager. And eBook Manager is going to live in ECM. It's going to live on the gray toolbar next to Mark. And you'll only see it if you have permissions to the ebook settings as an approver. And the beauty of this new platform is it's going to have two parts to it. It's going to show all your holdings. It's going to show every ebook you have access to, whether it's a subscription, whether it was a direct purchase, it's a shared ebook, so someone else has bought it, but or subscribed to it and you have access to it. It'll show if you can upgrade it right from there. It'll show real life usage in turnaways. It's going to be fantastic. You can create custom lists from this holdings. The second part of eBook Manager is going to be the settings portion of it. And from the settings, this is where you'll you'll change your ebook settings. As it stands today under EBSCO admin, all your settings are universal. So if you don't want to download all your books, except for the exception of one user access models, it's going to affect every book you have, whether it's a purchased ebook or an ebook subscription. Coming in the ebook manager portal, you'll be able to affect any ebook setting on an individual ebook. So, and also number of copies. So for instance, if you have an ebook and say you bought the 3-user access, you can restrict 2 copies to online reading and allow the 3rd copy to be downloaded and for whatever amount of period that you designate. You can, if a professor came to you and said, I want this group of books to only have a 2-day checkout because it's their assignment, you can create that list in the setting in the ebook holding section, and then apply settings just to that collection. You could also designate duration, checkout periods, or download enabling for a specific access model, whether it be your 3U or your UU. It's going to be very granular, and it's something we've been working on for a lot of years, and we're about to release it. And there's going to be a lot of marketing information on this. I will be doing a lot of demos as well as my team members, and we'll have a lot of information on the homepage of ECM as well, but you'll probably be receiving some marketing information shortly. The other item that I'd like to talk about very, very quickly, because I want to allow time for questions, is the mobile app. It was launched last January. We have one more part of it that is about to be released. It's an easy app to use. It shows all your EBSCO content, but we do have filters that you can select just to look for your ebooks. And when you find your book, you log in with your personal credentials and you can read the book right from there without the need of an Adobe ID. So all that desktop experience where you need the Adobe ID goes away. It runs in the background in the app, and it's been very well received. The last enhancement at this time to the app is going to be a link on any book where if you want to read it from the online experience versus downloading it for several days, the link will bring you to a browser where the student could just read it online. And then finally, you'll get more information from your EBSCO reps on this, but we are updating EBSCO hosts in EDS. We're going to make it, we've already been releasing it. It's going to be released over the next year. We've made it just a lot easier to use, to read. We've changed things around. It's just a little more fresh and modern. So I'm available for questions. I'm seeing a few come through, but April or Beth, if someone wants to ask them, I'll try to get to as many as I can.
I can do that for you. Let me go ahead and first do this one that just popped up. Will Adobe Digital Editions go away?
So on the app, and I think that was from Gary, on the app, it will run in the background, but you don't have to log in with your Adobe credentials. From the desktop experience, it's going to stay for now, but our developers are working to change that. Now, will that happen next year or the year after? I'm not sure. I haven't been given a timeline, but we've had so much in the way of enhancements requests that we're trying to figure out how to make that happen.
Let me go back to something to clarify. I almost jumped in the presentation. Sorry about that. Leslie asked if you're logged into ECM, is that one book, one user price listed? Is it customized to your library or just contact you specifically for pricing?
Very good question. 1U pricing and 3U pricing is determined by the publisher. So that's when we have these quotes for our curated collections. We can tell you what those prices are. They're no different amongst all of you. UU pricing, unlimited pricing, is dependent on your your FTE, your full-time employee. It's a very large threshold, so most of you will probably have the same unlimited price, but that's the only price that's different. So when you log into your account, your unlimited pricing is going to be specific to your institution. But the 1U and the 3U will be the same for everybody.
But it would be before any discount is given for the.
Yes, so the pricing on ECM and the pricing in my quotes are all pre-discount. You'll only see, I only apply the discount when I process the order. When I process the order, the first thing you'll receive is the fulfillment receipt. We call it an FFR, and it lists all the books, all the gross price and the discount price and the discount total. That'll be your receipt. There are URLs on that receipt, but they're not persistent links. If you need persistent links, I'll loop in my support team and they will create those for you. Then an invoice will follow in a few days. But you'll get your fulfillment receipt first. And when you receive your fulfillment receipt, you'll know that order has been processed and those books are available now in EBSCO or EDS, depending on what platform you use.
I'll mention, we had some comments back and forth, a kind of a question, anything that can be really done about Zondervan with their prices being maybe 3 times or higher than seems like some other publishers, and then offering the minimal discount, not the 30, not able to get that 30%, and more severe restrictions on printing and copy and pasting. Is there a way to is there any wiggle room for maybe getting them to move a little closer to some of the other publishing?
We're really working on that. My direct report works closely with our publisher relations team, and we didn't have HarperCollins books for the longest time. We had the Harper Christian, but not the HarperCollins. So they've just opened up that. So we're seeing that as an opportunity to negotiate with the Harper Christian content next. We wanted to get the HarperCollins content in first, and we've been pushing for higher access. And a higher discount would be wonderful, and we are pushing for that. I'm hoping someday in the near future, but it is a priority for us. But with publishers, you can't rush with too much. Yeah, we're grateful that they gave us an additional 9,000 titles this summer, and we're working towards that 30% discount next.
I don't know if I saw any other questions that weren't answered on the chat, but if someone has something else, type it in. We'll get it, try to answer it.
And I meant to point one more thing out, Beth, because we talked about this the other day. I'm just going to share my screen and show you the quote again, if I may. Since there's been a lot of interest in DRM free, you can all see my quote. There is a column, it's column L, that it says, is this DRM free, basically? And there's an N or a Y. The pricing on these curated quotes, again, you won't see till I requote it through your institution, but it will tell you if DRM free is offered. So this particular title has a Y, which means yes. So when you get the unlimited pricing, you'll know that this is a DRM free available ebook. So if you select that unlimited pricing, you will have the DRM free version. So we do indicate which ones are available at the DRM free. Okay, I meant to point that out when I was showing the quote.
Any other questions, anybody? Thank you for the comments and the questions that you've had for Robin, and wait just a few seconds here. Again, this is being recorded. So if I kind of missed a few things, kind of monitoring the chat, so I can go back and look at, if I need to listen to something. So Robin, we really appreciate your being available to kind of just go over some of the details, and And I know that you were available, you know, for people to email you with other questions they might have, of course. So
yes, absolutely. You're going to need to get in touch with me anyway, so feel free to ask questions. Let's see, do the students still need to download Adobe Digital Edition? Gary, that was the old, that was an old chat, correct? I think it was. Yes, ask questions. Just be sure to send me your orders. Don't process them through EBSCO Host Collection Manager because I want you to have that discount. And we do appreciate all your purchases.
I think that maybe it, and Gary,
what is my email? Okay.
Yes. There it is.
And feel free to call me as well.
I was just going to kind of reiterate, Gary, I think if I'm let me make sure I understand too. So unless you're using if you're using the mobile app, you do not need to download Adobe Digital Editions, but you would still.
Correct.
Desktop version.
Unfortunately, yes, we're working on that. Yes, the desktop experience will remain the same for now.
Okay, thank you everyone so much. If there's, don't know if there's anything else. Thank you again. We'll look forward to maybe seeing everybody at another place, another time. And so thank you for your time. Thank you so much, Robin. We really appreciate it.
You're certainly welcome. Have a nice day, everyone.